recently, Joe Joyce has actually come out recently and said that Luis Ortiz is actually ducked the fight with him. To some extent, I'm not saying that 100% believe it, but to some extent, I can see why a lot of heavyweights are ducking Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is one of them fighters that is incredibly formidable. I mean, he doesn't have one characteristic that really stands out. I mean, he doesn't have the fastest hands. He doesn't have the best feet. He doesn't have like he's not the most fluid in terms of his movement. He's quite clunky. He's very awkward. He doesn't look like he's got the most pleasing style to watch aesthetically. Like, he doesn't look like he should be as good as he is in terms of winning all the medals that he's won. But the fact is, he's one of the most he's got one of the best pedigrees as an amateur fighter that the UK has ever produced. I mean, this is a guy that beat Tony Yoka, Hrgovic in the amateurs. I mean, he managed to win a silver medal, and a lot of people thought he won the gold medal in the final. And look at everything he's done. Obviously, he beat Dubois, who's undefeated, knockout artist. I mean, I know Dubois didn't fight anyone apart from Nathan Gorman that was of any note. But the fact that he managed to make him quit, a young heavyweight that had a lot of fire and ambition, and the British public had a lot of good things to say about him, it says a lot about him as a fighter. So, yeah, there's probably a reason why a lot of heavyweights don't want to fight Joe Joyce, because the fact is, he's not very heralded. The fact is, he's high risk, low reward, from the perspective that you're probably not going to look that good against him. I mentioned all of the negative things, not negative things, but characteristics of Joe Joyce that doesn't make him look that good. Like, for example, he's not the fastest heavyweight. He does look clunky in there. He does look awkward. But I think the characteristics that he has, a lot of heavyweights don't have. So, for example, his amateur pedigree. I mean, his experience as an amateur, all the fights that he's had on the highest level that he's been on. On top of that, he's got world-class stamina. I mean, this guy just doesn't get tired. If you look at the difference in the corner between Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois was blowing. Well, if you look at Joyce didn't look like he was that out of shape. So just taking all of that into account, I think it's fair to say that, and on top of that, he's got a world-class chin as well. He's got a very good chin. Apparently, Anthony Joshua used to spar him, and he used to give Anthony Joshua a good round. So taking all of that into account, I think there's a reason why a lot of people don't actually would not want to fight Joe Joyce. I just feel like he's a fighter that's high risk, low reward, and there's a reason why there's a reason why a lot of fighters don't probably want to go in there against him. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. I think a lot of fighters will duck him because he's a fighter that's formidable. I mean, it's almost like a horror movie when you fight him, because he keeps coming forward and you can hit him with your best shots, but he doesn't really change his expression, the way he's looking at you. He's got like the ultimate poker face, and also when you listen to him in interviews, he's very unflappable. Like a lot of things that people do in a press conference, in a fight, they say bad things or anything like that. None of that seems to faze him at all. So he's a fighter that's completely unflappable. He's a fighter that a lot of fighters don't want to fight because of his great stamina, his punching power. On top of that, he's got great amateur pedigree. He's got great chin. He's got great stamina. He's got a lot going for him. He's an Olympian as well. I mean, all of these reasons are reasons why fighters don't want to fight Joe Joyce. So taking that into account, I think it probably makes sense why a lot of fighters don't want to fight Joe Joyce. So yeah, I think a lot of fighters in the future will duck him, including the top heavyweights, because like I said, he's high risk but very low reward. Tell me what you think about Joyce. Do you think he'll get a huge fight in the future? Do you think a lot of fighters will continue ducking him, or do you think eventually someone's bound to fight him soon? Or do you think he'll get to the top of the heavyweight division? Maybe he'll pick up a version of the title. How do you think he does against Tony Yoka in the professional ranks? How do you think he does against Hrgovic? How do you think he does against all of these fighters? How do you think he does against Anthony Joshua, who used to spar all the time? I think I'm going to make a separate video on that. I think he gives Anthony Joshua a very good fight, but I think a lot of fighters will not want to fight him because he's so formidable. But that's just my opinion. Tell me your opinion below, and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace out.